Conference tournaments are off and running, and this is everyone on the bubble's last opportunity to boost their resume for the selection committee, as we are a handful of days away from Selection Sunday. And Joe Lunardi has updated his bracket within the last hour. His last four byes are currently Baylor, Arkansas, Utah State, and San Diego State. His last four in: Oklahoma, Indiana, Xavier, and Ohio State is the last team in. His first four out: North Carolina, the first team out. North Carolina, earlier today, they had a very key win against Notre Dame, even though Notre Dame is not going to boost up their resume. North Carolina, they're still in the ACC tournament, and they'll play Wake Forest tomorrow. Boise State, Texas is the third team out, and they're currently dominating against Vanderbilt in their first SEC tournament game. And assuming that they hang on and win, they will play Texas A&M tomorrow and Colorado State. Colorado State's next opponent is to be announced. However, Colorado State, they have had the hot hand lately. They've won 8 out of their last 9 games. The next four out: Dayton, Wake Forest, UC Irvine, and Cincinnati. Cincinnati, their season came to an end essentially with a loss to Iowa State. Cincinnati, they are eliminated from the tournament, at least according to me, but I will be really surprised if we even see Cincinnati on the board on Selection Sunday, whether they somehow get into the tournament by the selection committee, or if they're the first four out, or even next four out. As far as I'm concerned with the bubble, and Joe Lunardi, he isn't 100% accurate. However, Joe Lunardi is arguably the most accurate bracketologist out there. Looking at the first four out: North Carolina, Boise State, Texas, and Colorado State, I do think that depending on how Boise State and San Diego State plays out tomorrow on Thursday, I do think that it is winning you're in for San Diego State. For Boise State, I do think they are banking on either Oklahoma losing, Indiana losing, or even Xavier losing against Marquette Thursday afternoon. If Xavier loses to Marquette, I think that they are out of the picture, as they only have one quad win all season. North Carolina also with only one quad win all year long. And I think if North Carolina loses to Wake Forest, then they're definitely out. For North Carolina to get in, they have to win against Wake Forest tomorrow. And assuming that Duke beats Georgia Tech, they have to beat Duke as well. And then I think that could be enough to propel them in that last four in category. As far as the next four out: Dayton, Wake Forest, UC Irvine, they have to be a bid stealer to get in. I just don't really know if Dayton will have necessarily the tools to get in, even though Dayton, they do have some productive wins this season. They have a win against UConn. They have a win against Marquette. For the other first four out: Boise State, Colorado State, Texas, who I did not cover yet. I briefly covered Texas. I do think, assuming they hang on against Vanderbilt, and if they beat Texas A&M tomorrow, then I think it could be enough, given the fact that the SEC has been the, without a doubt, powerhouse conference this season. As of the moment I'm recording this, Ohio State is going to play Iowa in a matter of moments. If Iowa pulls off that upset, then I think Ohio State is going to be left out of the picture. And I do think if that were to happen, then the window is open for Boise State and Texas, and maybe even North Carolina, even though North Carolina is 1-11 in quad 1 games this season. North Carolina is 7-0. Ohio State is 3-3 in quad 2 games. As far as the last four byes, Baylor, Arkansas, Utah State, San Diego State, I said it was winning you're in for San Diego State. The same applies for the three of them as well. They just have to win one more game, and then I think that they are safely in. Worst case scenario on selection Sunday, one of them may be in line to play in that first four in Dayton. I know that anything goes in March. However, I just can't see any of these teams on the bubble being a potential bid stealer, with the exception of maybe San Diego State and maybe UC Irvine as well. And I will also add in Colorado State because they are starting to peak at the right time, as mentioned earlier, winners of 8 of their last 9 games. As far as the last four in Oklahoma, Indiana, Xavier, Ohio State, I think that each of those teams with 2 wins will be enough to get into the field without the assumption of too many bid stealers. And that is all I have today. Selection Sunday, the reveal of the bracket, just a few days away. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you all are looking forward to it as well. Until next time, enjoy the rest of the college basketball this weekend and be prepared for the bracket.